Some actions you do in games lead to unexpected results that can be good or bad.
The president who cured cancer or the president who solved world hunger.
As a rule for these lists, I've limited myself to one game per franchise. Also, a huge warning here, major spoilers. Anyways, here's my top 10 unexpected results from the player's actions. Number 10, bad ending from Romancing Saga 3. In this Super Nintendo game that never quite made it outside of Japan, you have to fight and save the world, like in most RPGs. In this one, however, if you die, you get to watch an extra scene where the boss you were fighting warps out and destroys the entire world. Now yes, this happened in Chrono Trigger 2, but it was already established that Lavos was going to wreck everything, whereas Romancing Saga 3 gave no clues at all. Number 9, Anor Londo Darkness, Dark Souls. Dark Souls has many hidden stories and secrets throughout the game. The most unexpected one, however, was killing the Sunlight Princess Guinevere, and having darkness fall upon Anor Londo. The princess is actually not there. She was married off ages ago, but her brother put up an illusion, and once you kill her, that illusion is broken, and it brings Anor Londo to show its true colors. And it's a dark, dreary place. You don't really expect it because you're just fucking around. If you shoot her, then yeah, you kind of fucked over this entire place.
Godmother's image, I am Gwyndolin, and thy transgression shall not go unpunished. Thou shalt perish in the twilight of Anor Londo.
Number 8, returning enemies, Shadows of Mordor. Ever wondered what happened to those enemies you kill off in games? Well, Shadows of Mordor answers that question by having characters return to exact their revenge for the scars you gave them. I'm serious. Enemies you've defeated earlier in the game will come back with more and more disfigurements and fight you, only to return later once you defeat them again. Not all of them do this, that would be chaos, but the few that do, it can be great fun adding up their injuries.
I'm gonna cut you slow and savor every twitch.
Number 7, Suicide Mission, Mass Effect 2. One of the most exciting missions in Mass Effect 2 is the Suicide Mission, at the end of the game. You've recruited your team, set your destination, and now you have to go through a gauntlet of enemies and roadblocks in order to get to your goal. The game takes your decisions very seriously at this point. You have to assign roles for people, and you can only do this safely if you know the character's abilities to ensure they succeed and don't fuck up the mission and die. Some tasks can be easily pinned on certain people, but others you have to be careful with them, as you want to save as many of your team members as possible. Nerve-wracking, huh?
Then regroup in the central chamber.
No good. Both routes are blocked. See these doors? The only way past is to get someone to open them from the other side.
A few well-placed explosives should clear a path.
Number 6, defeating the God Beasts, Seiken Densetsu 3. Yet another game that never made it outside of Japan. Thankfully, this game was fan-translated and quickly became a favorite for the Super Nintendo. In this game, you collect spirits of each element and enter the Mana Holy Land. Then you repeat your task, except you have to defeat a God Beast of each element in order to advance the game and chase after the antagonist. However, once you finally confront the big baddie, you learn that all your efforts to slay the God Beast was only helping the enemy grow stronger. You then must chase after them in order to stop their evil doings and unfuck what you just did. Number 5, the Ciphers, Odin Sphere. The weapons that each character has in this game has a special ability to absorb souls of defeated enemies. This is how you level up your Cipher level and use special abilities against your foes. Little did we know that we were slowly saving the world by doing this. At the end of the game, the land has been ravaged by disasters and sucked of all life by the magic cauldron. Things aren't looking so good, as our heroes stumble across each other, having finished their final bosses, drained of all energy. When all seems lost, the idea of using the Ciphers in the cauldron and reversing the effect by releasing the souls back into the land comes to mind. You conveniently have all of the weapons and you put them inside the cauldron. The weapons are destroyed, but in the process, you save the world. Didn't think you'd be doing the world a favor so early on in the game, did you? Number 4, the the entire game, Eternal Darkness. The game Eternal Darkness goes through a number of different time periods, setting up for the final confrontation in the present day. All of the actions your characters do set up the end of the game. At the very beginning of the game, you have the choice to select the godlike evil that will try and destroy the world. How awesome is that? The rest of the game is fighting off that evil god and preventing the end of the world. Say you had one character find item A. In a future chapter with a different character, the same item can be found exactly where the first one left it. In the present day, this gives major hints to the player as to where to look and find the right item to progress the game. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Number 3. A lot of things. The Walking Dead. This game is famous for the decisions you make, having characters remember your actions, and so on. Of course it has to have a spot on this list, as so many people have experienced the difficult decisions you have to make in the game, and the unexpected consequences that comes with it. You have to be quick. You have no time to stop and think, as something could happen while you're bumbling about. This game puts you on your toes with decision making, and can be really intense at times. But it can also be very depressing when you try and decide the best outcome. Not just for you, but the characters in your group too. People will die with your decisions. End of story. You cannot please everybody either, and really unexpected things will happen, so you just have to make the best of it throughout the whole game.
I want my parents to come home now.
I think that might be a little while, you know?
Oh.
Number 2. White Phosphorus. Spec Ops: The Line. This game goes to great lengths to show you just exactly what your actions can do, and my god, it does it well. First off, this game plays on the fact that it's like any generic shooter game, having the same mechanics, cover, shoot dudes, advanced story, repeat. They also hired Nolan North, a well-known voice actor who many people are comfortable hearing, to play the main protagonist to set up even more familiarity and comfort for the player when they played the game. This is all a setup so you could experience this scene. This scene shows a bunch of soldiers in our group's way. Next to them is a conveniently placed weapon that uses white phosphorus. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It's nasty shit. Anyways, you set it up, and like any game, you fire away. You pull the trigger and rain down this fiery death upon the enemy soldiers. Or were they enemy soldiers? When you walk through the destruction you carried out, you realize that you just killed a bunch of innocent civilians. The soldiers there were just trying to help them, but you decided to burn everybody. Way to go.
You brought this on yourself.
We were helping.
What?
Wait!
Number 1. The Secrets of the Shades. Near.
It's way too late to stop! No one stops!
My number 1 goes to Nier. The story starts off pretty straightforward, or so it seems. Nier is looking for a cure for his daughter Yona, known as the Black Scroll. His journey leads him to meet very strange people, and he eventually comes across the main enemies of the game, known as Shades. Everything changes when you meet pretty much the boss of the Shades, the Shadow Lord, who takes Yona away. Like any good dad, Nier goes out to find Yona, and murders everything in his path. Near the end of the game, you encounter Devila and Popola, 2 helpful girls that aided you throughout the game, giving you advice and showing you where to go. These girls then reveal the truth about the Shades and the world. Before the game started, a disease was spreading throughout the world, killing people in huge numbers, and was expected to wipe out humanity. In a last-ditch effort, scientists created the Gestalt Project, which basically separated the soul of the humans from their vulnerable bodies, and created new bodies from the souls called replicants, who would later serve as their new bodies. The idea was to wait for the disease to vanish, and then combine the Gestalt and the replicant so that they could become human again. Well, that kind of didn't work. The replicants began to develop a self-awareness, making it impossible for Gestalts to return to their bodies as it wasn't theirs anymore. The more self-aware the replicants became, the more the Gestalts went insane and relapsed. Guess what? The Gestalts are the Shades, and the characters you've been playing with in the game, yeah, they're the replicants. So you've basically been killing off all human life throughout the game. What's worse is that the Shadow Lord acted as a balance for all Gestalts, but since you killed him, all of them will relapse and humanity will be doomed. No one will become human again. Yona will never be cured of the Black Scroll, and you fucked up everything. So what was your unexpected moment in gaming? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching.